On the Champ de Mars in Paris, France, stands the Eiffel structure, a wrought iron tower with latticework. It bears the name of Gustave Eiffel, an engineer whose business planned and constructed the tower. Its centerpiece, La Dame de Fer, was built between 1887 and 1889 as part of the 1889 World's Fair. Its design was first criticized by some of France's top artists and philosophers, but it has since evolved into one of the most recognizable buildings in the world and a global cultural emblem for France. In 2015, approximately 7 million people climbed the Eiffel Tower, making it the world's most popular paid-entry attraction. In 1964, it was proclaimed a monument historique, and on 1991, it was included in the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Two senior engineers who worked at the company d'Établissements Eiffel, Maurice Koechlin and Émile Noguier, are credited with creating the Eiffel Tower. Following discussions regarding an appropriate focal point for the intended 1889 Exposition Universelle, a World's Fair to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the French Revolution, it was conceptualized. The Latting Observatory, which was constructed in New York City in 1853, served as inspiration for Eiffel's Tower, which he publicly recognized. A drawing of their proposal was created by Koechlin in May 1884 when he was at home working. He described it as a gigantic pylon, consisting of 4 lattice girders standing apart at the base and coming together at the top, tied together by metal trusses at regular intervals. The two engineers approached Stephen Sylvester, the chief of the company's architectural department, to contribute to the design after Eiffel originally showed little interest but later approved more research. The tower's foundation was embellished with ornate arches, while the first level's glass pavilion and other features were added by Sylvester. The projected tower had been a source of contention, receiving criticism from those who didn't think it was practical and those who objected on the basis of aesthetic considerations. No structure had ever been built to a height of 300 m, or even 200 m for that matter, before the Eiffel Tower, and many people thought it was impossible. These objections represented a long-running argument in France over the connection between architecture and engineering. On January 28, 1887, the foundation construction process began. They were simple for the east and south legs since each leg was supported by 4 2m concrete slabs, one for each of the main girders of each leg. In order to support the 6m thick concrete slabs on the west and north legs, which were located closer to the Seine River, 2 compressed air caissons that were 15m long and 6m in diameter and driven to a depth of 22m had to be placed. A block of limestone with an angled top that carried a supporting shoe for the ironwork was supported by each of these slabs. A pair of bolts with a combined diameter and length of 10 centimeters, 4 in, and 7.5 meters, 25 feet, held each shoe to the stones. On June 30th, the foundations were finished, and the ironwork erection got underway. A huge amount of meticulous planning work was done in the background to support the on-site work, and the drawing office created 1,700 general drawings and 3,629 detailed drawings for the 18,038 various parts that were required. The intricate angles used in the design and the level of accuracy demanded made it difficult to sketch the components. For example, the position of rivet holes had to be defined to within 1 mm, and angles had to be calculated to 1 second of arc. The final parts, some already riveted into sub-assemblies, came from a factory in the adjacent Parisian district of Levallois-Perret on horse-drawn carts and were first bolted together. As work went on, the bolts were changed out for rivets. No shaping or drilling was done on site. Any parts that did not fit were sent back to the factory to be adjusted. 2.5 million rivets were used to assemble all 18,038 parts. The government commission in charge of the exposition placed a high priority on equipping the tower with sufficient and secure passenger lifts. Lifts obviously had to be the primary means of ascent, even though some visitors could be anticipated to climb to the first or even second level. The weight of the Eiffel Tower's puddle iron, worked iron, is 7,300 tons, while the elevators, stores, and antennas have added another around 10,100 tons to the total. If the 7,300 tons of metal in the building were melted down, it would only fill the square base, which is 125 meters on each side, to a depth of 6.25 centimeters, assuming the metal's density is 7.8 tons per cubic meter. This illustrates the construction's economy of design. 66. In addition, a cubic box surrounding the tower would hold 6,200 tons of air, which is almost as heavy as the iron itself. Throughout the tower's history, several changes have been made to the lift configuration. Each lift in regular operation takes an average of 8 minutes and 50 seconds to complete the round journey, with an average of 1 minute and 15 seconds spent at each level, due to the elasticity of the cables and the time needed to align the cars with the landings. 1 minute is often required to go between levels. At the base of the east and west legs is a tiny museum that features the original hydraulic system. Public access is frequently limited because the mechanism needs constant lubrication and repair. Visitors may view the North Tower's rope system when they come out of the elevator. 58 Sierra Leonean Lyons Tour Eiffel is located on the first level of the tower, while Le Jules Verne, a fine dining establishment with a separate elevator, is located on the second level. In the Michelin Red Guide, this restaurant is given 1 star. From 2007 through 2017, Alain Ducasse, a multi-Michelin starred chef, oversaw its operations. It will be run by 3-star chef Frédéric Anton beginning in May 2019. Jules Verne, a well-known author of science fiction, is responsible for its name. At the very top of the Eiffel Tower, there is a champagne bar. There was a restaurant close to the top of the tower from 1937 until 1981. Due to structural concerns, it was taken out because experts found it to be excessively heavy and causing the tower to slump. Since the start of the 20th century, radio broadcasts have been made from the tower. Up until the 1950s, aerial wire systems connected the cupola to anchors on the Champ de Mars and Avenue de Suffren. These were linked to modest bunker-based long-wave transmitters. A permanent subterranean radio station, which is still in operation today, was constructed next to the South Pillar in 1909. Berhakim and Champ de Mars Tour Eiffel are the closest metro and RER stations in Paris, respectively. The tower itself is situated where the Pont d'Iéna and the Quai Branly converge. Since the tower's construction was finished in 1889, more over 300 million people have visited it. There were 6.91 million travelers in 2015. The tower is the world's most popular paid monument. Every day, 25,000 people climb the tower, which can lead to lengthy lines.